rotate it.
Rotate it just among the devs.
Yeah. So different people have different experiences.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
All right. So Adam, this is the Sprint 18 review of the EagleEye. So on the top, we have some tasks for Daniel and Piers, but I'll run that through later. So let's have a look at our sprint goal from last week. So we are planning to do a database remodel. This is for the future change where we can easily recategorize the emails easier. So right now, whenever we try to recategorize, we have to scan through the whole database. But with this remodeling, we won't need to do that anymore. So that will save a lot of time. But this remodeling is still in still in review. We didn't complete this one. So this is a 1 week sprint. And the time spent on Isabel.
We have one more attendee. Gordon is behind me.
Oh, okay. Yep.
We have multiple Lukes, so you need Luke and
right.
And you need Adam.
Oh, right.
Adam doesn't recognize himself as a person.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so because we had Brisbane brainstorm, so Isabel spent 4 days, Luke spent 2 days, I spent 2 days, and Daniel spent 1 day on the project. So let's have a look at the backlog. So first one is a bug reported by Wicksy. He thought he didn't make any initial calls, but in the report, it shows that he made 3 initial calls. But in the end, after investigation, it was a mistake by him. He actually sent out 3 initial calls. So our scanning was correct. So we did nothing for this PBI. And the second PBI is about scanning from the last successful date. So imagine we have a job execution failed yesterday, and this will enable the next execution to run 2 days worth of the scanning. So it's sort of self-heal. But that currently is blocked by a bug from Azure SDK. So that bug fix is scheduled to release in March. So once that's released, we will be able to fix this problem. Any questions so far, Adam? All good? Okay, next, check by bug. This PBI, we have a bug that OpenAI is having trouble to distinguish the having trouble to categorize the multiple checkers. So there's a problem within our prompt. So Isabel did a fix on the prompt so that the OpenAI is now able to recognize more people with the nickname, and also to work it properly. And next one is include the receiver when sending checkers to OpenAI. So we thought that sometimes in the email, the checkers, we put checkers in the to because we have task assigned. So when we ask OpenAI to categorize the checker, we need to send them both CC field and also the to field, so that we could get the correct checkers back from OpenAI. So next one is to improve loggings. So those are just easier for debugging for the devs. And next one is the investigation to fix production deployment. We had 1 production deployment from last week, and now it's been fixed. Next one is the bicep user defined type. So this is sort of R&D that I was playing around with the new feature, user defined type. So that's still in progress. And the last one will be the redesigning data model. So Isabel has got this new data model designed, and now it's in review at the moment. Any questions so far, Adam? Oh, good. So production deployment, we have one successful deployment last week, just this morning, and we have 0 product page deployment. And for the overnight job executions, we have 7 successful runs. So those are all good. And for the report view in the past 90 days, we have 800 views. And if we take a look at the users, if we exclude the team members, we can see Manu, Jean, and William are most interested in this report. And the progress, we are planning to set up the customer instance. And the progress, we've done 1 out of the 4 completed. And we also want to have generic categorization, but those tasks are still in progress. R&D, as I mentioned, we did some experiment on the user-defined type. So far, the pros are it's good to have a strong type so that it prevents less typo. We will have less typo on the configurations, but the cons is the CLI wouldn't work when we have nested reference in bicep files. So far, so good, Adam? Good. Okay, retros, what went well? So everyone agrees on we have data model work, data remodeling work is awesome. So now we have tags and categories. And I think Daniel will walk you through what are the tags and categories and what we did in the data remodeling. This will be in separate time, not in this meeting. Yeah. And the refinement went well yesterday. And we have Luke back in the same time zone. So he's now back to Brisbane. The plan for change email checked to tagged in. So we are planning to change report name as well because peers find it confusing. So Daniel will walk you through the changes in the report's name as well. And what can be improved. So this has happened during our Brisbane brainstorming. So I don't think we can do much about it. So so Daniel was pulled off to carry some chairs and tables to set up the brainstorming. And then
how long was that job, Dan?
I think I spent over 2 hours like doing that, maybe 2.5 hours.
Really?
Helping Penny with the tables, the chairs, running up and down the stairs, trying to figure out where we were going to put everyone.
Right. I think it's more important than, because it affects a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the organizing of the teams was important. I'm not sure. I think we could have got someone else to carry chairs up to different areas.
Yeah, maybe. We pick a few people. Yep. It's not often.
Yep. And also presentation tips. We need to do a dry run before presenting to the PO. So we need the presenter, as myself in this week, I need to read those rules.
That's for the whole team, Rick.
Okay, yeah, the whole team.
Not
so for the future
specifically you.
presenters, not just myself. And then when we start explaining PBI, we need to start with the user's pain and then get into technical details.
No,
later.
avoid getting into technical
Avoid
details.
getting into technical details.
I wouldn't get into them at all if you can
Yep.
avoid.
Yep. And then ideas to share. So we need to ensure Adam is across the tags and category change, especially how the check by report will change names. And then we need to update CRM to make it clear who is the PO. So apparently Adam and Daniel are the POs in the CRM. And I think that needs to be changed.
To
And
what?
then we to Piers and Adam and Piers.
But Seth has a task for that, which is something we've recorded.
Yep.
Can you just put at the beginning of that to do colon Seth?
I think we have it somewhere else in this email, do we not?
Yep.
We have a task for me at the top. Follow up Seth about that.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
But it's still at the bottom. Just put to do Seth so you know who it is. Or Seth dash.
Sure.
I think it's clear to write to do Seth.
Probably to do Seth rather than Seth dash.
Yeah.
It looks like he wrote it.
Yes, that's right. And
So,
on the third line there for brilliant idea, EagleEye is one word.
yep. So do we want to add Seth's name in here?
At the beginning of that line, right? To do Seth.
And the same on
To do colon Seth. The to do colon, the same as you see in Visual Studio.
same on the third line as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
And who's ensuring that I'm across the tags and categories change?
Daniel.
Daniel?
Me.
Okay.
And the fourth one is to do peers, I guess.
Yep. So that's all for the retro.
Okay. All right. So let's, before we move on to the planning, and I would like somebody else to do the planning, maybe Isabel or Dan, but can we give any feedback on this? Do you have any feedback on this? Just the sprint review, what Rick just did?
You mean the summary Rick gave?
Yes. Do you have any feedback on it?
It felt a little slow.
Yep.
I would say.
Okay.
Okay. So
You weren't talking slow, but I'm going to guess he thinks that it went slow because you went into a lot of PBIs, maybe less PBIs and less technical. That's what I'm guessing. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
less PBI.
Gordon, any feedback?
I had a similar feeling.
Right, similar feeling. Yep.
I liked how Rick stopped to check in periodically throughout though. That was nice.
Yeah, very good. Yes.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Isabel, anything?
No, it went the same as you guys.
Okay.
I don't have anything to add.
Yeah, and Luke?
Yeah, I also like Rick check from time to time.
Okay. All right. So, Rick, I thought the speaking pace was excellent. I understood everything you were saying. I think the big thing that I want you to take away from this is you've got to show the product, even if you just start off by showing it, just to remind the product owner what the product is, and especially for people unfamiliar. Gordon might be thinking, which one's this, and you've forgotten. So I'd definitely be showing the product for at least a few seconds before you dive in. It did feel like you had a lot of plumbing stuff going on where you're improving pipelines and bicep files and things. I'm not sure there was any benefit, whether they ran faster or whatever. But you've got to look, maybe this is just a one-time sprint where you've done this, but if this is a common thing, then you've got to mix it in with a little bit of product owner stuff, because there's no value at all at this point in time to the product owner. That, well, certainly not that he can see himself easily. So you show the reports, this report got improved, or this report's data is cleaner. And let me talk to you about the database remodeling. I didn't fully get myself across that one, and that seemed to be a core one. So I was a little bit confused. The other thing, I just want to make sure, maybe this will be on Daniel or Isabel when they do the planning. Have you been through all the feedback from the Chewing the Fat? Rick?
I think we have.
You think you need to be sure that you've been
Yeah.
through it all and they've turned into PBIs, and those people will get a notification when they're done and which ones had good feedback and which ones didn't. I certainly am very, very, very keen to know what did you get out of that chewing the fat, because I haven't had a peep.
Okay.
And yeah, that's super valuable. You had probably 80 people having a look at it. I definitely want to know the big comments and the silly comments as well. But no value.
We
anyway.
have sent you an email on it.
Oh, well,
They
that's
should write the email you sent Daniel. That should have been sent to Adam as well, right?
Does it have a check by Adam, or I tried to call you but you're unavailable?
No, but then we need to update the steps in the CTF steps, because I don't think that's the step in the CTF.
Yeah. Do you want to see the email now? I could bring it up if you want.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay. I'll share that.
Okay. Can we finish the summary first, please?
Because
Because we're recording.
Have we finished?
Yes.
Well, we haven't done the forecast.
Oh, you want to do the forecast, but won't that impact the forecast? Like you're gonna do a forecast without seeing what all the feedback. It might if there's. Well, I don't know. I think it's worth seeing.
Well, if that's the case, we should close this video and re-record the other one later.
What's wrong with that being? What's wrong with people seeing that feedback?
Well, this is gonna blow out the time of the video.
I see what you're doing. Okay. All right. Could it be in the planning? Should they be in two separate videos?
No, I think they should focus on the review and then focus on the forecast.
Okay.
You can have a third video if you want.
Okay. All right. So we'll just do one video with the recording, and we'll stop the recording.
I think we should stop this recording and then record the forecast later.
Oh, you want them in separate videos?
Unless you want to do the forecast right now.
But you can cut it up.
Yeah, I would do the forecast now. That's fine.
I don't think we're going to be cutting these up because there's going to be heaps of them.
Yeah,
we're not going to have the TV team edit them.
Yeah, so I would do the forecast right now, and then at the end of that, without stopping recording, we'll put that chewing the fat in, unless you want that in a separate video.
I don't want it in this video because it will make it too long.
Okay.
It's already a really long video.
Yeah.
And I already think people are going to struggle to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, obviously this is not perfect. It's the first one. I just did the one with Matt Wicks right now with the website, and it was blazingly fast. I think the whole thing was over in 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
Did they do any work?
Yes, but they had kind of graphs to show me the progress and different things.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
But Wicksy and I are pretty much in sync because we worked together a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we're doing the forecast now?
Yes.
Okay, so forecast for Sprint 19. Our goal is to have Power BI report to work with the redesigned data model, because once we have the redesigned data model deployed, the Power BI report wouldn't work. So
hold on. Is this the plan? Is this the planning now?
Yep, the planning.
Did anyone hear me to say get Dan or Isabel to do this one?
Oh,
yes.
Yep. I can go for it.
Okay.
So as Rick was saying, the goal as we've done in the last sprint, we worked a lot on redesigning the database model. And when we implement that, we need to make sure our Power BI reports still work. So that's the goal for next sprint. And if you scroll down all the way to the sprint,
Hold on, the attendees are not correct. I'm having deja vu.
Adam is missing. Okay, so first off is finish off the top of the priority is finish off the redesign of the data model. And then we also want to create this demo instance so we can have a DB that's populated with dummy data. This is needed both for testing and when we redo the Power BI reports and everything. And it's also needed for our Power BI template app, which we're going to sell to customers. So when they get the Power BI template app, they need to have data in that one. And then we have the categorization, which will add in more categorization into the check by report, because currently there's none. And then we have the bicep user-defined type, which Rick is working on. Any questions?
No, all good.
Good, perfect.
So Daniel's going to set up a meeting with you to run through that redesigning of the data model.
Why can't we stop the recording now and then start a new recording and show the, oh, sorry, with the data model?
Yes.
Oh, so, right.
Which is very important for you to understand.
Sorry, I thought you were doing that, another thing. All right. So,
Stop the recording.
Okay.
Oh,
before we do that, can I just understand, is this redesign of the data model a small thing, a big thing? Are we changing databases?
We're changing database.
No, we're not changing databases. We're changing the schema significantly.
Right. And how did this arise? Why? Who did the original schema?
I am not sure who did the original schema.
I think Rick
I did the first one.
Schema.
Yeah. Okay. And now, Dan, you want to change it. What made you want to change it?
Yeah. So what we kind of, with the original design, we just had this one table for categorizations. And what we kind of found out is, as we, you know, tried to implement some of these PBIs, is that we actually had two slightly different forms of categorizations. You know, when we started to think about how we would report on, let's say, maybe sprint forecast emails and check buys within that, we kind of started thinking, well, maybe there's a little bit of a hierarchy here, or maybe there's two different types of categorizations. And so what we kind of ended on was every email will have a single category, but can have multiple tags associated with it. So an example would be this email here that we're looking at. This would maybe be a sprint forecast email. That would be the category, but it could have a tag of checked by, and that tag could be associated with one or more people. So tags are kind of like more related to the content of the email, and you can have multiple tags within the content of the email, and they often relate to a person as well. So it could be checked by some people, as per my conversation with someone else for the record, etc. These are all different types of tags. So we wanted to kind of distinguish these two different ways of sort of categorizing and tagging emails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you have this database schema documented, or you'll have to look in the database to understand how it works?
It's already a document.
Is there? All right.
We've got a rough document, but we already have an image in our repo, in our docs folder, that needs to be updated once this work's complete.
Okay.
Cool. Can we end the recording, Adam?
Yes, I think we've covered everything. Has anyone got any feedback on that stuff?
I thought it was well explained, to be honest.
Yeah.
From Isabel.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. All right. Let's close that down.
Thanks.
All right.
That's our first recording.